We are seeing how this is understanding and impacting the skills gap in the real estate market. To truly delve into this, what is a skills gap as such? It seems quite a loose term. A skills gap is defined by the disparity between the skills of an employer, or what the skills that the employer is expecting of their employees to have, to what the skills of those employees actually possess. We see that this gap is often cause for long-term vacancies within businesses, drawn out hiring processes, and general hiring fatigue for both candidates and clients. Now, when looking at the skills gap, there are two main areas we must consider. There are the hard skills, which are required through training and educational purposes, and the soft skills that are more personality driven, often communication or teamwork type skills. Hard skills are often sector specific, whereas these soft skills can be cross sector relevance and are usually pretty agnostic in that nature. Focusing on the root of this gap and how it has formed and grown, the skills gap is not simple enough to have one root cause or driver. It's an amalgamation of a lot of different driving factors. It's not unique to one generation of the workforce. We see it across different areas. We can identify the skills gap across different generations within that workplace, and it can cause disparity between the working structure. Those who grew up in an age of technical literacy, or those who worked through a period of technical integration in many businesses, are more adapt to this system driven industry that we have. Whereas those who've had long career breaks, for example, for care reasons, industry change, parenting responsibilities, they have a skills gap that's often not accounted for in the workplace, or in an interview process. There's a drove of experience leaving the real estate industry at the senior level. This is either driven by retirement in the industry, or more commonly of late, as we see with these tumultuous times, a bit more entrepreneurialness. More senior leadership are leaving to set up their own firms than ever, which means you're having a strong set of senior people who have the educational know-how to teach, working for themselves, not having exposure to junior candidates within the team, and generally working within quite small boutique businesses where there's very small crossover between them and junior individuals. What this is also leading to are businesses with extreme pyramid structures where they have a few senior members of staff and a much larger junior pool, or a mid-sized pool where candidates of one seniority don't have the ability to give their time to a one-on-one junior. It reduces the learning capacity of those juniors. When it comes to those soft skills, they're often grown in more organic ways. The exposure to your day-to-day working life with a senior individual. This learning through osmosis is only possible when you have that exposure day in, day out. And if you only have two or three senior individuals to a pool of more juniors, it becomes more diminished across them. There are two major events that we can't bypass in regards to where this skills gap has come from and why it has widened. These two events, COVID and Brexit, have created a smaller talent pool who have less transactional experience or exposure in the market than usual. Due to these two events, there's been a major loss of talent to the UK market from either where we used to previously hire from Europe or further afar, as it's now too costly or can be quite intimidating for slightly smaller firms. COVID has meant that a lot of international students or junior workers who didn't have the support systems to survive a lockdown in the UK have moved back to their home countries. And conversationally, with my own personal experience whilst doing my master's degree, a large number of them haven't returned. This has meant that there's a smaller pool of candidates at the junior end of the market. Even fewer of them have the lived experiences of summer placements or in-person training programs or lectures that gives them those soft skills of a working environment in a professional and corporate-led business. Those juniors who joined businesses at the start of COVID have had very little transactional experience. We often talk to candidates who haven't modeled anything to the acquisition's completion due to this. Courses like Bayfield help provide those junior individuals the modeling exposure and the modeling understanding that they potentially haven't received if they were in a usual market.